Whispering Pages presents The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Chapter 11. A Wick Garden. For several minutes, Dickon just looked around. Then he started walking about the great trees and twisting vines, the overgrown grass, and the stone seats and urns. We used to wonder about this place, he said softly. Just look at the tangle. This must be the safest nesting place in England. No one could bother the birds up there. Will there be any roses? Mary whispered. Deacon stepped over to the nearest tree. He took a knife from his pocket and cut into a branch. There's lots of dead wood, but it's as weak as you and me, he told her. Grinning widely, he showed Mary a little brownish green suit. Weak? She asked. That's Yorkshire for alive, Deacon said. Oh, I'm glad it's weak, Mary exclaimed. Deacon put a finger up to his lips. Mary whispered happily, I want everything here to be weak. One shrub at a time, Deacon showed her how to cut away the dead wood to find the living wood. When it looks greenish and juicy, it's weak. When it's dry and breaks off easily, you cut it away. Then he showed her how to dig around the roots to let the plants breathe. There was so much to do that Mary asked if Deacon could come again and help. I will come every day if you want, he offered. We will wake up this garden. You will get stronger and I'll teach you to talk to the robin. We will have lots of fun. He looked around again and said, But I don't think the garden should be too neat. It will look nicer with things running a bit wild. Mary agreed that it wouldn't seem like a secret garden if it was too tidy. It looks like someone did some pruning and digging not too long ago, he noted. But the door was locked and the key was buried. How could anyone get in? Mary said. Deacon scratched his head. How could it be? He murmured. They kept working in the warm sunshine. Mary was startled when the clock in the courtyard chimed 12, time for lunch. Deacon had brought a sandwich to eat in the garden and work some more before going home. Mary hated to leave. She was afraid Deacon would disappear like a wood fairy. Walking to the door, she turned and said, Whatever happens, you would never tell about the garden? Deacon smiled. If you were a thrush and you showed me your nest, do you think I'll tell? Not me. Your secret is safe. Chapter 12. Just a Bit of Earth. When Mary ran into her playroom, Martha was waiting. I have seen Deacon, Mary exclaimed. He bought the garden set. Martha had never seen the girl so excited. She asked, Where is your garden to be? Mary couldn't tell her about the secret garden, so she said, I haven't got one yet. Martha said, If I were you, I would talk to Ben Weatherstaff. He will find a place for your garden. Mary ate her lunch hungrily so she could hurry back to the garden and Deacon. But when she finished, Martha had some important news. Mr. Craven had come home and asked to see his niece. But why? Mary asked. Her face grew pale. He didn't want to see me before. It's because of Mother, Martha said. She saw him in Twitter Billets and she spoke to him. He's leaving again tomorrow for Europe and won't be back till next fall. This made Mary feel better. If Mr. Craven went away, she would have time to see the secret garden come alive. Mrs. Medlock opened the door in her best dress, looking a bit nervous. She told Mary to change her clothes and brush her hair. Then she took Mary to a part of the house she had never seen. They entered a large room where Mr. Craven was sitting in an armchair before the fire. He thanked Mrs. Medlock and dismissed her. Mary was surprised to see that he wasn't a hunchback although he had crooked soldiers. "Come here," he said. Mary stood before him. He had dark eyes and black hair streaked with white. He wasn't ugly and could have been handsome if he didn't look so unhappy. "Are you well?" he asked. "Do the servants take good care of you?" "Yes," she answered. "You are very thin." "I'm getting fatter," Mary said in her stiff way. Mr. Craven rubbed his forehead. "I intended to get you a nursemaid or a governess." "Oh, please no," Mary stammered. "I'm too big for a nurse, and don't make me have a governess yet." Mr. Craven looked away. To himself he said, "The Sowerby woman said she needs to get stronger before she has a governess." Mary heard the name and asked, "Is that Martha's mother?" "Yes," he replied. "Mrs. Sowerby said you could play outdoors and get sturdier." "She knows all about children," Mary said. "Yes, Mrs. Craven was very fond of her," he said. His voice softened when he mentioned his wife. "Now tell me where you play." Mary gasped out, "Everywhere. I run and skip, but I do not do any harm." "Don't look so frightened." He sounded worried. "You may do what you like. I'm your guardian, though a poor one for a child. I can't give you much attention, but I want you to be happy and comfortable. Is there anything you want? Toys, books, dolls?" Mary's voice trembled. She said softly, "Might I have a bit of earth?" Mr. Craven looked startled. "Earth? What do you mean?" "A place to plant seeds, make them grow, watch them come alive," Mary said. "When I was in India," she explained, "I was always too ill and it was too hot. But here it's different." Mr. Craven stood up and crossed the room. He seemed to be deep in thought. When he spoke to her again, his eyes looked soft and kind. "You can have as much earth as you want," he said. He remembered his wife's love of things that grow. "When you see a bit of earth you want," he smiled, "you may take it, child. Make it come alive." Then he rang the bell for Mrs. Medlock. Mr. Craven spoke to the housekeeper. "This child needs to be stronger before she begins to have lessons," he said. "Give her simple, healthy food. Let her run in the garden, but don't look after her too much." Mrs. Medlock looked relieved. Mary could be quite a handful. "Mrs. Sowerby is to come here sometimes, and Mary may visit the Sowerbys' cottage." Back in Mary's room, Martha was waiting with a surprise. "I can have my garden," Mary cried happily. "Your mother can come to see me, and I can visit your cottage. Mr. Craven really is kind." Martha was as delighted as Mary. She helped her change into her play clothes, and Mary ran outside. She hoped Deacon would still be in the garden. But he had gone. His dolls lay neatly under a tree. Only the robin remained. A piece of paper fastened to a thorn on a rosebud caught Mary's eye. It was the letter she had sent to Deacon. On the back was a drawing that looked like a bird's nest and some printed words. "I will come back." Chapter 13. A Mysterious Boy. "That's a picture of a thrush nesting," Martha said when Mary showed her the note. Then Mary understood. The garden was a nest, and she was like a thrush. Deacon would keep their secret. She looked forward to seeing Deacon the next day, but during the night she awoke to the sound of rain beating at her window and the wind roaring. She sat up in bed, feeling angry. "The weather is as contrary as I am." She tossed and turned for about an hour. Then she heard something frightful. She sat up again and listened. It wasn't the wind. It was crying. Mary made up her mind to find out who it was. She got out of bed and put on her robe and slippers. She lighted a candle and headed down the long and dark hallway. Mary was too excited to be afraid. She remembered the way to the door behind the tapestry where Mrs. Medlock had been so angry to find her. The crying grew louder as she approached it, down some passages and up a few steps. She pushed the tapestry aside and opened the hidden door. The crying was clearer now. She saw a faint light under another door and went in. She found herself inside a big room with handsome furniture and a hearth fire. A cradle figured on a table beside a big four-poster bed. On it lay a boy crying pitifully. She crept forward. Her bright candle attracted the boy's attention. "Are you a ghost?" he asked in a half-frightened voice. "No," Mary whispered. "Are you?" He stared at her with big gray eyes that looked too large for his thin face. "I'm Colin Craven," the boy said. "I'm Mary Lennox. Mr. Craven's my uncle." "He's my father," the boy said. Mary was stunned. "No one told me he had a boy," she gasped. "Come closer," Colin said. He put out his hand and touched her. "You are real," he said softly. "I thought you were one of my dreams." Colin sat up. "Where did you come from?" he asked. "My room. Didn't anyone tell you that I live here?" "They wouldn't dare," he said. "They know that I won't let people see me." "Why not?" Mary asked. "Because I'm ill. I was born too soon, and if I leave, I'll probably be a hunchback. But I probably won't. I don't like people to see me and talk about me. My father only comes when I'm asleep. He doesn't want to see me either." "Why not?" Mary asked. It was all such a mystery. "My mother died when I was born. He doesn't think I know, but I hear people talking. He almost hates me and wishes I were dead." "Don't you ever go outside?" she inquired. "Never. I used to be taken to the seaside in my wheelchair, but people stared at me. I had to wear irons on my legs. A doctor from London said I needed fresh air, but I hate fresh air. I can't stand people gawking at me." Mary asked if she should go away, but Colin motioned her to sit next to him on a big stool. He wanted to know more about her. "Everybody here has to do what I want," he said as if it were normal. "They can't make me angry because I probably won't grow up." Then he asked, "How old are you?" 10, she said. "Just like you. When you were born, your father locked the garden and buried the key." This got Colin's attention. His eyes grew larger. "What garden? Why did he lock it?" he demanded. Mary felt nervous. She thought, "He hates the garden because his wife died." Out loud she said, "It's the garden your father hates. No one has been inside it for 10 years. Nobody is even allowed to talk about it." "I can make them talk," Colin declared. "If I were to leave, Misselthwaite would be mine. They would have to tell me." This comment scared Mary. If he asked questions, what might happen? She changed the subject. "Do you really think you won't leave?" "I don't suppose I will," he replied crossly. "I don't really want to leave, but I don't want to die. When I'm sick, I think about it all the time. It makes me afraid and I cry." He paused. "But about the garden, I could make them open it." Mary twisted her hands in anguish. She cried out, Don't do that. If they open the garden, it will spoil everything. If we could find it, if no one could go there but us, don't you see, it would be our secret. Colin lay back on his pillows. I have never had a secret before. I'm sure I can find the garden, Mary went on. Then you could go there. Maybe we could find a nice boy to push your wheelchair. I will like that, he said in a dreamy kind of voice. Mary felt a little safer. She began telling him about the other gardens and about Ben Weather's stuff. Colin smiled, and when he heard about the robin, after a while he said, I want to show you something. He pointed at a curtain that hung above the mantel and told Mary to pull the cord. Behind the curtain was a painting of a laughing girl. Her dark hair was tied with a blue ribbon, and her grey eyes looked just like Colin's. That's my mother, he said with disgust. I don't know why she had to die. If she had lived, maybe I wouldn't be sick. Maybe my father wouldn't hate to look at me. He turned away and ordered Mary to close the curtain. I don't like her to look at me. Again Mary asked if she should leave. She was afraid that Mrs. Medlock might find her. I won't allow Medlock to be angry at you, Colin said. I'm glad you are here, and I want this to be our secret. I will tell Martha whenever I want to see you. She stays with me when my nurse is away. Then he said quietly, I wish I could go to sleep before you leave. Mary pulled the footstool closer. I can sing for you like my Ayah used to sing for me. Just close your eyes. Mary sang him an Indian lullaby she had learned as a baby while stroking his hand. That is nice, Colin said as he drifted off to sleep. Mary crept away softly. Chapter 14. Colin the Rajah. Martha was very busy the next day. It was afternoon before Mary could talk to her. I have found out who was crying last night, Mary said, and I went to his room. It's Colin. Martha looked red with fright. You shouldn't have done that, she said tearfully. You will get me in trouble. It's all right, Mary said. He was glad I came. Are you sure? Martha asked. When he's angry, he screams and throws the most terrible tantrums to frighten us. He wasn't angry at me. We talked and he showed me his mother's portrait. Then I sang him to sleep. Martha was amazed. It's like you walked into the lion's den. He never lets strangers look at him. But if Mrs. Medlock finds out, she will say I told you, and she will send me away. Colin wants it to be our secret. He wants you to tell me when I can go and see him. Mrs. Medlock will have to obey him. Then Mary asked what was wrong with Colin. Martha had calmed down a bit. She began. No one really knows. He began all wrong with his mother dying and his father raging with grief. The doctors were afraid Mr. Colin had a weak back, so they kept him lying down all the time. He had to wear an iron brace. He's very spoiled, Mary said, not realizing that she had been spoiled too. Well, he's had many colds and coughs, Martha said. He had rheumatic fever once and typhoid. Mother says all he needs is fresh air and running around. But he just lies in his room reading picture books and taking medicine. The last time he went out, he began sneezing. A new gardener looked at him and Mr. Colin threw a terrible tantrum, yelling, He thinks I'm a hunchback. Then he cried himself into a fever. "If he gets angry with me, I won't see him again," Mary said. "He will see you if he wants," Martha smiled. "He always has his way." A bell rang, and Martha got up. "His nurse wants me to watch him for a while," she said. "I hope he's in a good temper." She returned 10 minutes later. "Well, you have bewitched him," she said in amazement. "He's sitting up and he wants you to come as quickly as you can." Mary hurried to Colin's room. In daylight, she saw how beautiful it was. The walls and rocks were richly colored, and the fire burned brightly. Colin's cheeks glowed in his pale face. "Martha's scared," Mary told him. "She thinks Mrs. Medlock will send her away if she finds out we have met." Colin frowned. "Tell Martha that everyone has to do what I please, and that I will send Medlock away if she gets angry when she brings you." "I will take care of everything," said Colin regally. Mary looked at him oddly. "I was just reminded of a boy I once saw in India," she began. "He was a Rajah. That's a royal prince. He talked to his people just like you do. They had to do whatever he said. They might have been killed if they didn't." She paused. "I was also thinking how different you are from Deacon, Martha's brother. He's 12 years old, and he can charm the birds and foxes and squirrels with his pipe, just like an Indian fakir or a snake charmer." Colin was curious to hear more. Mary told him how Deacon knew all the creatures that lived on the moor. "But how can he like the moor?" Colin asked. "It's such a dreary place." "On the night I arrived," Mary said, "I hated it too. But Martha talks about it, and Deacon tells me it's a beautiful place full of living things." "I wish I could see it," Colin said, "but I can't go out because I'm going to die. Everybody says so." Mary didn't like the way Colin almost boasted about dying. She said in her most contrary way, If everybody wished me to die, then I wouldn't do it. Besides, I don't believe everybody thinks you will die. The doctor from London didn't. He made them take off the irons." "That's true," said Colin. "One time I heard him say the lad might be fine if he makes up his mind. Put him in a humor to get well." Mary said, "Deacon could do it. He talks about living things, not about being sick and dying." Colin was enjoying himself so much that he forgot about his weak back. He sat up straight and said, "I just thought of something. Did you know we are cousins?" They were both in a mood to laugh. Suddenly, Mrs. Medlock entered with Dr. Craven, a cousin of Colin's father. "What's the meaning of this?" the doctor said in alarm. In his best Rajah voice, Colin said, "This is my cousin, Mary Lennox. She must be allowed to come whenever I sent for her." Mrs. Medlock wailed, "Who let her come in here?" "Nobody," Colin said. "Mary heard me crying and she came by herself." Dr. Craven sat down and took Colin's pulse. "It's fast, my boy," the doctor said. "Excitement is not good for you." "I will get more excited if she doesn't visit me," Colin said, staring at the doctor. "She makes me feel better. I want her to stay for tea." He commanded Mrs. Medlock to bring some tea and snacks. She hurried off to carry out his order. The doctor finally agreed to let Mary stay. He also left, shaking his head in disapproval. When Mrs. Medlock brought their refreshment, Colin helped himself to a hot muffin and offered one to Mary. He said, "Now tell me all about Rajahs." Chapter 15. Nest Building. It rained for the whole next week. Mary missed going to the garden and seeing Deacon. Percy and Colin spent hours talking, playing games, and reading to each other. He hadn't had a crying fit since he met Mary. Mary was very cautious about talking to Colin of the secret garden in case he couldn't keep a secret. But how could they get him there without anybody knowing? She was sure the garden would help him get better as it had helped her. At the end of the week, Mary woke up very early. Outside the sky was blue again. She jumped out of bed and ran to open her window. A sweet, fresh breeze greeted her. She put her hand out the window to feel the sun. It's warm, she thought. It will make the sprouts grow and the bulbs work very hard. Oh, I must see the garden now. She dressed quickly to the sound of birds singing. She hurried downstairs to a small side door she could unlock by herself. Outside, the grass had turned green and there seemed to be living things in every bush and tree. Little shoots were sprouting in every flower bed and border. The world was waking up. She ran to the secret garden. She was about to fling open the door when she heard a strange caw-caw. Looking up, she saw a big blue-black bird on top of the ivy-covered wall. It made her nervous and she hoped it would fly away. When she entered the garden, the crow flew to an apple tree. Under the tree was a small reddish animal with a bushy tail and Deacon kneeling in the grass. As Mary approached, the animal went over to Deacon. The crow flew down and perched on his shoulder. Deacon introduced his companions. This foxglove is Captain, the crow here is Suit. They followed me across the moor this morning. The fox and crow stayed with Deacon as he and Mary walked around the garden. They didn't seem afraid of Mary. Mary told Deacon how she had met Colin and played with him every day. He says I make him forget about being ill and dying, she whispered. I'm glad you know about him, Deacon whispered back. I couldn't have told you myself. Mary was surprised. What do people know about Colin? Folks know he's ill, Deacon said. They know Mr. Craven doesn't want him talked about and can't bear to see his son when he's awake. Mr. Colin reminds him of his wife. Does Colin really want to die? Mary asked. No, but Mother says he wishes he had never been born, and that's the worst thing for a child to think. Mary said softly, Mr. Craven's afraid Colin will grow a hunchback. Colin's so afraid he almost never sits up. He feels his back for lumps. He says if he ever finds one, he will scream himself to death. He will never get well if he keeps thinking like that, Deacon said, rubbing the fox's neck. If Colin were here, he wouldn't think about finding lumps. He would watch the birds break out and the flowers bloom. Do you think he would be willing to come here? I am sure he would, Mary said. He knows about the garden, but not that we have found it. Maybe he would come outside for us. He could order the gardeners and everyone to stay away. I'm certain Colin could keep a secret. Deacon smiled. Then we will get him out for sure. Thank you for spending your time here with this story. I hope it helped you relax and learn English at the same time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and continue your English learning journey with more classic audiobooks. See you in the next video.